One of my favorite activities was to run around in my backyard as my friend John tried to shoot me in the head with a BB gun. Now, I don't want you to worry because we did switch places every couple of shots to make it fair, and obviously neither of us is blind because we could never shoot for shit. Now, I tell you this not to indict anyone's parents, but to demonstrate the kind of thing that you do when you don't have a car in the suburbs and you're a 40-minute walk from the nearest business, which, as it happens, is a dry cleaners.
For the record, a big part of the reason why suburbs are built the way that they're built is, one, to keep class inequality alive in this country, you know? Not just class inequality in this situation, but like petite bourgeois get to have their suburbs away, their enclaves away from the poors. In a lot of instances, specifically black people is what these people are trying to avoid. Black people are in urban environments, and rich people and white people in general are not in those urban environments where the black people live. And also, just as is the case with anything that is capitalism oriented, it's also about cars and the car industry, because they love that shit. They love having these dumbass suburbs because that means no public transportation. You need to have a car. You can't go anywhere. I hate all of this stuff. I hate all of this stuff. And by the way, that's why I like Adam Something and, you know, Not Just Bikes and all these other guys who sometimes can be a little cringe, but, you know, they are correct on this stuff.
And I know it's not exactly...
Would you say people want to avoid crime? Your wife is going to get very, very mad at you. Your wife is about to get very mad at you when I fucking ban you, because poor people living in affordable housing does not automatically mean crime. I just said people want to stay away from black people, and that's why they live in these like little fucking suburban enclaves, and you said, oh, that means crime.
A hot take to say the suburbs are boring, but in the next 30 years, America's population is projected to expand by 100 million. And if we try to spread those people, all those people into suburbs, that means turning millions of acres of this and this into this. Well, there's an easy solution. We'll just also build things like apartments and townhouses and high-rises and duplexes and high-density housing for people who want it. And that would be the right answer, except for the fact that it's literally illegal to build anything but a single-family detached house in the majority of America. We don't build low-density, low-efficiency housing because America prefers it. We build them because housing developers are forced to because of a thing called single-family zoning. And yes, I'm asking you to watch a video about zoning, but don't worry because it's only like, holy shit, why is it so long? Why? Just make it shorter. What did we... Okay, whatever. I'm gonna make this good because it's gonna take me like 80 hours to edit it. And if I wanted to waste 80 hours of my life watching some unfathomably boring shit.
The fact that he immediately jumped to crime when talking about black people / lower socioeconomic is quite sad. I mean, look, socioeconomic conditions do cause crime. That's true. But here, you know what else subjects you into lower socioeconomic conditions? Not being able to afford the top of the hour ad break, avoiding subscription. Oh, you know what else causes fucking crime? Creating an opportunity where there's worse socioeconomic conditions because there's no affordable housing. And when there's no fucking affordable housing because there's no upzoning or not enough fucking available units that are priced appropriately for these people that can live in those fucking housing units, then they become homeless. When you're homeless and you're in the fucking middle of the street and you don't have a way to, you know, shower, you don't have fucking shelter over your head, you then are you know, stealing shit to be able to fucking survive. That's what's going on. Don't go on Twitter, bro. Those people are insane. Oh, I can't wait. I know.
I would just watch As the American population expands and we're simultaneously trying to avoid being burned to the ground by climate change, we've got to be smarter about how we do housing. As countless studies show, higher density housing lowers our emissions, reduces traffic, increases access to services, the list goes on. But due to a bunch of old laws written by a handful of dead rich dudes, some of whom were racist, by the way, housing developers aren't free to build anything except for single-family detached houses, which means suburbs, and that means paving thousands of miles of new roads to McMansion-y housing developments, which means everyone will need a car, which means everyone needs more gas, and so on and so forth times 100 million. And there's an easy solution, and you can even help maybe? And speaking of help, I have enlisted the help of a personal hero of mine, city planning genius, Jason from the YouTube channel Not Just Bikes.
Hey, I'm Jason from Not Just...
That was Jason from, fudge.
Bikes.
That was Jason from Not Just Bikes. He's the brains I'm the me, and me am Raleigh Williams, climate science and policy master's degree recipient.
I think somewhere that I saw Chappelle was talking about the age demographics as well. That is unaffordable for younger people starting out. References Antioch College and that his dad is the dean. Yeah, I mean, people were talking about Dave Chappelle's background. People were like, oh, he's poor. He like grew up poor. Like he didn't. He grew up middle class. His parents are academics. That, of course, changes your perspective a little bit.
And a guy with the second lowest belt in Taekwondo. So watch yourself. And this is the story of how the suburbs are bleeding America dry, featuring not just bikes. Welcome to Climate Town.
By the way, the only reason why people thought he grew up fucking poor is because he's black. Straight up. That's it.
Oh man, did I learn some shit about zoning. For one, it's actually a great
I just tuned in. Are you like completely against single family homes? No, I'm not. And people are going to get fucking mad at me and get annoyed. But, you know, I'm not. I'm not against single family homes across the board. People, this is the thing that triggers the shit out of fucking yimbies. They're like, what the fuck? How dare you? I don't think. America has land, bro. It has land for both. How fucking dare you? I want walkable cities. I want normal cities. I want like actual fucking cities. I want an actual city to live in. I love you. That's what I want. I grew up in cities. I grew up in Istanbul. I grew up in Ankara. I know what can be done. I know what a normal city could look like. New York. And even then, there's a lot of bullshit that happens in all of those cities as well. Ankara normal mi amına koyayım? Oğlum İstanbul'da aman Amerika'dan daha iyi, emin ol. Los Angeles'tan daha normal. Evet. How are you going to do public transportation in the suburbs? Listen, I'm not completely against single family homes or even suburbs in general. Some people want fucking privacy. Some people want to have single family homes. Like, what the fuck? And especially if they have the ability to be able to purchase it, then great, do it. Who cares? Also, suburbs have buses, dog. There is no walkable city without overcoming single family homes. Oh my God, just destroy me, dude. I can't have this conversation. You have no power. Okay, you can't even get anything. Those people that already like live in their fucking single family units are able to get everything because they have money. You have nothing, and you're living in a fucking fantasy planet where you're like, instead of even solving any of the problems, even in a situation where someone is agreeing with you, even in a situation where someone's agreeing with you, where there's like, hey, there needs to be more affordable units. Upzoning is not the fucking end of the world. Obviously, we have to also make sure that these units are fucking affordable, actually affordable, and not necessarily just like luxury high-rise condominiums that don't actually fucking ever get filled at all. And it's not addressing the need or the demand that is appropriate for the fucking area that they're being built. And you come to me and you cry. And you're like, no, every fucking single family house needs to be destroyed and there needs to be a building propped up on top of it. Like motherfuckers think about London and go, or England and go, oh, what do you mean flats, dude? Vertical homes are better than standalone homes. Dude, America is a continent, motherfucker. There's enough space.
Concept. Don't put a toilet in your kitchen. Don't put a heavy metal processing plant.
Yimbies will never stop until I literally become a landlord. Like they want me to rent out my house. Literally rent out your house right now. You have to become a landlord. Destroy your house and build condominiums. Destroy your house, build condominiums, and start renting right now.
Plant in your preschool district.
Well, a preschool district isn't really a thing as far as I know, but yeah, zoning is a critical part of good
like
cities.
This shit's beautiful. I want this. I want this so fucking bad.
And every modern city has some kind of zoning. Even Houston, which keeps all the bad stuff from the zoning code but just doesn't call it zoning. Here in the Netherlands, we have strict zoning codes that result in great cities, and Japanese zoning is famous for building compact urban environments while maintaining affordable housing prices.
Okay, enough international talk. It's time to focus on America. In the mid-1800s, or sepia times, factories started popping up in early American cities to crank out things like textiles and barrels and lung disease. Workers moved in nearby because the only—
Notice anything? No single-family homes? Dude, are you comparing the fucking density of the Netherlands to the United States of America? Have you lost your mind? It's not like I'm saying there needs to be single-family units everywhere, okay? Everywhere. That's only fucking single-family units and single-family housing units in New York. Single-family housing units only in Los Angeles.
The only way to get to work in those days was to either walk or— that was it, actually. You could walk or you could just die.
And by the way, this might come as a fucking surprise to you guys, but There's probably single family units in the Netherlands as well. It's just not directly in the fucking heart of the city.
Street. Either way, let's get back on those looms, people. Your arms aren't going to tear themselves off. But even worse than that, the cities of the 1840s didn't have sewers, so you can probably imagine how that must have smelled. So city managers got their little top hats together and came up with land surveys to figure out how to move everyone's poop to a less lived-in location. And that meant figuring out where the sewers would go, and that's kind of the first comprehensive city planning. One thing led to another, and by 1867, a tenement house law was passed that required buildings to provide just the absolute barest of essentials to the people living there. And
Has a severe complex over his $2.7 million home, haha. Let's all make Hasan at Hasan's house. Dude, I don't know why you guys think that you're like getting one on me. Like, no, my house is fucking sick. It's dope. Like, I love it. I love being able to have enough fucking space. You're gonna say I'm flexing, and fuck it. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with any of the purchases that I've made. I don't know why you think you can make me feel sad, because ultimately, like, I will be feeling sad in a fucking nice house where my family can live with me without literally living on top of me. It's fire. Is that good? I'm not ashamed of it at all. Please stop. Motherfuckers are like, dude, dog, you are so embarrassed that you bought a Porsche. Yeah, that's why I bought it in public, dude. That's why, because I was so fucking embarrassed about it. No, I'm not. I'm not embarrassed. I have enough money to buy it. Why the fuck wouldn't I?
we're not talking like hot water. We're talking a fire escape and one outdoor toilet per 20 people.
Over the coming decades, city planning started to become a profession, and in 1909, the first National Conference on City Planning and the Problems of Congestion was held in Washington, D.C., with 49 attendees. This was back when congestion didn't mean traffic congestion. Suburbs started cropping up that were separate from the city but remained accessible to downtown by streetcar lines, and almost every city in America was built around trains and streetcars. Los Angeles, in particular, had one of the most extensive streetcar networks in the world. These so-called streetcar suburbs...
Dude, I don't know why we even watched this. I literally pre-watched this. He's going through every single thing I just mentioned. Can you imagine if we had fucking streetcars again, dude? How would that be? Easy to argue for communism when you're on top, huh? Wait, what? Wait, that makes no sense. Easy to argue for communism when you're on top. Yo, that's good. That's a good one. That's actually a good one. I advocate for a system where people also lack alienation of their labor in a similar capacity to myself. And the way to get there, the reforms that need to take place will actually hurt my bottom line from a capitalist point of view. But, you know, it doesn't matter. People will still say that I am, a fucking liar or a hypocrite or something. Yeah, that's why you always see a lot of millionaires and billionaires advocate for socialism.
Suburbs, at least those that still remain, are still some of the most desirable neighborhoods in all of North America. In many ways, this was peak city planning. With the invention of the automobile, suddenly wealthier people could live even farther away and drive in and out of cities for work, and the American suburb was born.
And that's when things got racist.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Actually, no, that's when things got more racist.
It's been
No, that's not true either.
These guys are really good. I've never heard of Climate Town before, but yo, this video is fucking poggers, okay? This video is The Suburbs Are Bleeding America Dry by Climate Town, and it's featuring another friend of the show, Not Just Bikes.
That's when racism got suburbanized.
Yup, redlining.
See, in the mid-1910s, it was just straight up okay to have a city ordinance that explicitly prohibited people from buying property if they were black or Jewish or Asian, or you know what, you don't need me to come up with a list of people who were discriminated against. In 1917, the Supreme Court ruled in Buchanan versus Worley that a city ordinance in Kentucky prohibiting the sale of property to black people in white majority neighborhoods was a violation of the 14th Amendment and therefore unlawful. But don't cry, cities seeking to enforce racist zoning, because R1 zoning is technically just classist, which means even though you can't explicitly ban certain races from homeownership, they could just switch to banning poor people from those same rights and then let racist property developers deny black homeownership for discretionary reasons.
Man, remember that exact same attitude, which is basically the Republican Party's strategy? In America, classism is almost impossible to separate from racism. Classism is like the most appropriate way that this fucking disgusting capitalist shithole can get away with, like, you know, shitting on the poors, okay? In America, they substitute, if it's inappropriate to just like openly and overtly be racist, then you just substitute the racism for classism. Because, you know, by and large, Americans have subjugated black people and, you know, pushed them to these impoverished conditions, so they can just turn around and just say, like, yeah, we're gonna stop poor people from living here. That's just, it's just poor people.
And this racist turn.
Why is that okay? A question people should ask. Why is that okay? Why do you just not want to have poor people living in the same neighborhood? Having a diversity of income in your neighborhood is actually pretty fucking good, I think. Anyway, let's continue.
Classist but still racist kind of zoning took off all across America.
At this point in time, zoning still had detractors across the US, mostly by people who claimed it interfered with personal property rights, which, I mean, yeah, it kinda did. But all this changed with a landmark ruling in the village of Euclid, Ohio. Euclid wanted to keep Chicago's factories from expanding toward them and changing the character of the village, and ultimately, the Supreme Court agreed. They ruled that this kind of zoning was not an unreasonable extension of the village's police power. This kind of zoning became known as Euclidean zoning, named after the town and not Euclidean geometry. And the concept spread like a bad meme across the country and into Canada too. This was the first step toward the homogeneous, sprawling, asphalt-covered, car-infested Strode Line horror show that makes
It was not just Bikes that was like, I went to Houston and it fucked my life up, right? That was him, right? It was like, I went to Houston and it was so fucked up, I literally became a YouTuber that talks about city planning, which is true. It makes sense. Houston is so fucking ugly. I mean, this copy-pasted concrete shit factory that you are seeing right in front of your eyes is like 99% of American cities. It is identical to Houston. It's identical to New Jersey, to fucking New Jersey suburbs. It's identical to any city in America. No character whatsoever. Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, all the same bullshit.
The majority of cities and towns in the US and Canada today. Now, to be clear, Euclidean zoning was not explicitly racist. Presumably, it was more about the factories themselves than the people working in those factories. Presumably.
Now, that's not to say zoning stopped being racist in the 20s, when America went through a depression that they all agreed was pretty great. FDR came out with the New Deal, which included a hot little number called the National Housing Act of 1934, which established brand new home ownership tools for low-income Americans like the 30-year mortgage and low-income
really fucking
guaranteed
good
by the government. Unless you happen to live in a neighborhood with too high a percentage of foreign-born or Negroes, according to the U.S. government, in which case you couldn't get a loan.
Wait, low-class whites?
Foreign-born or Negroes.
Yo! Yo! Oh, baby, this is good.
According to the U.S. government, in which case you couldn't get a loan because you lived in a red zone, which is where the term redlining came from. So, okay, yeah, maybe a racist law from the early 1900s invented to keep non-white people from property ownership may have accidentally determined how almost all housing would be.
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter, dude. This is like, oh, it's just like, ugh. Technically, you can't say don't it always seem to go. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You pave paradise to put up a parking lot, because that would imply that Houston was paradise beforehand, and I feel like it just wasn't. So they just paved whatever and put up a parking lot. Just a sequence of parking lots. Oh, God. So nasty, dude. Look at this. Ooh, bop, bop, bop. Ooh, bop, bop, bop. Don't it always seem to go? Okay, I'm sorry. It's just, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks so much, dude. It sucks. We just literally love, this is better than apartments. Yeah, exactly. You know why we need this? Because so many people live in the fucking enclaves, in the suburbs. So they have to drive in. They have to drive in. There's no fucking buses. You can't have buses that go into the fucking suburban enclaves. They're too far removed from one another. There's no transit. There's no nothing. No tree/parks having motherfuckers. Is it space efficient if you live in your car? Yeah. What does it look like now? I mean, this is in the 70s. It probably is all fucking buildings now. All those parking lots turn into big buildings. I made an annotated version to indicate how radical the changes have been since then. Everything in the green had buildings and other development in all locations by 2016. I live in the Denver suburbs and housing is pretty damn expensive. Moving into Denver, and it will be a little worse rent, but hopefully less on gas. They actually do have buses and have been trying to make some improvements, but like most of Texas, Houston is such a shithole actually. Though there's a super nice park named after Eleanor Rigby or some shit. For the record, the other part of the problem is when sprawl does happen in these places, it doesn't happen in a positive way. So that's where I come across like a fucking NIMBY when people are like, oh, dude, you're fucking NIMBY, bitch. Like, because obviously buildings are not, you know, built equally. Okay. Not all buildings are the same. Parkitecture, surface parking lots in downtown Houston, pay stations, honesty boxes, and parking huts. Houston is a city of commodities. In order of importance, parking ranks a close second right behind oil. We love our cars, and Houstonians need somewhere to store them when they drive themselves to work. Roughly 57% of all downtown Houston workers drive alone to work. That's the same shit in California. That's the same shit in Los Angeles, dude. It's terrible. I'm from Houston, and when you talk bad about it, it makes me sad because of all the good times I have with my girlfriend. I mean, this looks better in comparison, if we're being real. They put up a... Wait, is this for real? They put up like a fat fucking park in the middle? That's cool. They did. That's not terrible. My dad owns a finance corp and he gets denied loans by banks because he redline as fuck. Here in the UK, I don't know. I know, don't bully me too hard. The commuter zone for London is huge. I live like 1 hour and 15-minute train journey away, so many people commute to London from work. Okay, let's continue. All right, we finished the Dave Chappell story. So I'm going to close all the other ones. A common theme in the opposition to development is the lack of diversity in prices. Several villagers commented on the small portion of land set aside for affordable housing. How do we know we can build on this land? Craig Smith, a member of the Ober development team, said that although the land set aside for donation has a sizable amount of rock underneath, Ober plans to build on it should the land not be rezoned into a PUD. Smith also addressed the affordable issue, saying, "We didn't come to Yellow Springs to solve the affordable housing problem. Our goal was to provide market rate housing and then contribute to the village's goals." The people that are trying to defend Dave Chappell on this are being completely ridiculous. Like, they just have not seen it. They just have not looked into it, like, at all. Like, I came into the story with the most charitability, right? Like, I came into it with the highest charitability that one can have. And it's so obvious that he just yeeted the fucking affordable part of the housing. And 143 units are still being built. Single family units are still being built.
In the most powerful country in the world. And fine, it is a little ironic that we are not free to build apartments or townhouses in most parts of the freest country in the world. But are those things really preventing us from acting on climate change? Yes. Yes, they super are. Now, I just want to say there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to live in a detached single-family home. Some people love them, and to that I say, whatever gets you out of bed in the morning, brother. I'm aware of how destiny is going to take its course, brother. But the fact that 75% of all residential land is zoned for only detached single-family homes leads to a real problem when it comes to trying to keep our carbon dioxide emissions down and stave off early onset climate change. The suburbs represent less than a quarter of the American population, but are so energy intensive that they account for more than half of all household greenhouse gas emissions. Detached houses are the least efficient kind of housing to try to heat or cool because they're leaking energy from all four sides simultaneously. The heating and electric bills in detached single-family houses are consistently higher, which leads to power plants burning more fossil fuels, which means more carbon dioxide emissions, and it also leads to things like blackouts. And that's just right now. Imagine a few more decades of being forced to move out and out further instead of just building up like 4 stories. See, when you build up, you build stairs, you build elevators, and sometimes just fireman poles. But when you build out, you build miles upon miles of roads and streets and cul-de-sac, which I recently found out is the plural of cul-de-sac. Who knew?
Wait, what? Holy shit, you're right. How did I not know that?
Those roads get built right over dirt and plants, and once it's asphalt, it no longer has the trivial quality of being able to absorb rainwater to prevent things like flash floods or water pollution. And since the construction of...
And then if you build it on fucking swampland, then you get what is known as the Was it Houston? No, it was Dallas that's built on swampland, right? Then you get the coolest kind of fucking development, one in Florida and also in Houston. Completely just built on swampland with all the fucking concrete structures, making it virtually impossible to fucking suck up the water. And that's why you get all these floods that occur anytime there are more erratic weather conditions as a consequence of anthropogenic climate change. We're literally building these fucking cities and blowing that shit up in a way that is unsustainable, that contributes to the emissions and contributes to the climate change happening. And then when climate change does end up happening, you have crazier, erratic weather conditions that are normally once in a lifetime. And then your cities can't fucking drain itself. So they flood. It's fucking awesome, dude. Literally, America is built with ticker tape, okay? Everything. Every part of this is just like completely fucking bullshit. Go pee. I'm trying to watch the video. Shut the fuck up.
Of a single mile of asphalt road in America adds 4,000 tons of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Building out instead of up is an excellent way to ensure we blow past every single emissions reduction targets from here until 2050. And of course, once you have roads instead of stairs, you're putting thousands of cars onto those shiny new roads because those suburbs are almost universally cut off from functional public transportation. There are sometimes bus routes, but decades of underinvestment in public transportation means a 15-minute car ride becomes a 2-hour commute via 3 buses, a light rail, and a goddamn rickshaw. And of course, all those cars need someplace to park when you're at work, which means parking lots, which means concrete and carbon dioxide emissions, a reduction in natural spaces that can absorb that spike in carbon dioxide, and a sharp increase in places for the sharks and the jets to knife fight to the death. And as things spread farther and farther out, access to everything from food to medical services and emergency services gets more expensive and more carbon intensive. And
Pollution from cars still doesn't compare to cruise ships, though. I mean, per capita, yes. It is completely unacceptable that cruise ships still exist. Like, it just... Anyway, that's a pet peeve of mine, though. It's like, since I found out exactly how much... how big of a pollutant cruise ships are, I have 100% been an advocate for doing that. By the way, did you continue the Expanse? The Expanse, yes, it's really good. All right, hold on, I gotta guess.
Just to be clear, eliminating R1 zoning does not mean eliminating the single-family detached house. It just means developers are literally allowed to build something other than a detached house if people want.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, MPs, we got a guest appearance, a celebrity guest appearance in the chat. Hold on, you don't have to even get that close. Here, get that mic. I want to. You have your own microphone. Wow. You can speak into that.
Look at this fucking setup. I love it.
Oh yeah, you don't even know. Wait, hold on. Shit. Boom, there you go.
Ooh wee. How we doing?
We got multiple cameras.
I love it, dude.
We got boom that.
Check out the fucking top view, the aerial.
That's not great. Okay,
I love it. What are you talking about? I love it.
Move away from that.
No. I want that.
We got this one. Boom. So this is the one that we're gonna most likely use, though. Wait, hold on. Let me move this shit around a little bit so that the camera is like on both of us.
We look fucking cute, dude.
Hell yeah.
We look fucking awesome. I love it. Little something for everybody.
The only man more oversexed than Hasan? No, he is way. I get no pussy. What the fuck?
How dare? Well, controlling for how we look. Yes, I'm crushing Hasan. But
in general, he's crushing me in general. He's crushing me in general. Okay.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare! You beautiful motherfucker.
Me and hundreds of my teachers union comrades got kicked out of the school committee.
I'm sorry that you're not gonna get to see the other cancellation. My fucking new car.
Oh, where is it?
It's I sent it in to get like paint protection or something. I don't know.
Had to get the pussy juice out the seats already.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to get it detailed.
You do get more pussy per capita for sure.
Per capita, yes, but you know, what are you gonna do, man? Wow, the place is beautiful. I especially liked, my favorite room was, there was a room of like 8 or 9 little Turkish women sewing your merch. They were begging me for water. I don't know if that's a cultural thing where they don't get water. That was my favorite room.
Oh no, we're gonna get fucking canceled, dude. No, don't tell him about the Turkish ladies. What the fuck?
They were begging for water, but I feel like that's kind of, I don't know if it's
No,
Ramadan.
no,
is it Ramadan or something like that?
Yeah,
Maybe that's what it is.
They work more efficiently when they're thirsty, so I had to. That's what I had to do.
Beautiful spot, bro.
Thank you. All right, well, let me
get
fix
into
that.
it.
Let me fix that camera angle, and I'm gonna get you. Some delicious kebabs.
I can't fucking wait.
Hit the end of the R1 zone and it's chaos. And it's basically this way in like every American city.
In Europe, it's very common to see a wide range of different building sizes, single-family homes, duplexes, 4 to 5 story mid-rise buildings, and even the occasional larger apartment or condo building. If the majority of residential land in the US and Canada wasn't
is
zoned
sick. You
for
just watch
R1
television?
single-family homes,
What a
you'd see
fucking
a lot more
scam
different
this
sizes
is.
and uses here too.
I need to-
There has
I need
been
to
a
stream,
huge
bro.
increase in demand for mixed-use walkable places as people start to realize that
Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Have you seen these motherfuckers on the internet, dude? You're trying to get me canceled. I swear to God. Listen,
Dude,
I'm already in hot water, bro.
Yeah.
People are fucking like, he doesn't react hard enough to fucking YouTube videos.
I will say this: the fee you charged me was really reasonable to come onto it's for advertising. Hasan only wants $1,000 per hour that you're on his stream.
Yeah. That's for you. That's a friends.
That's the friend rate.
Yeah. That's the friends and family benefit that you
fuck.
got. So.
Oh, here we go. A little smart water.
Yeah, don't pull the whole bag up though, because my address is on it, and you leak it. Yeah, it just comes over, fucking doxes me, talks shit, exposes my slaves. Fucked up. Oh no.
Let's do it, bro. Let's watch some fucking television.
It's not television.
Whatever,
Okay,
YouTube.
this is good. This is good content about fucking. This is good content that uplifts
Enriches the people.
Enriches the argument that I was already making about Dave Chappelle being a fucking boomer rich guy.
Yeah, that did break my heart, honestly.
Yeah,
That really did.
He just straight up is like they just nuked the affordable housing plans that weren't even like 100% gonna happen regardless. It's like 'cause the developers shit too,
Of course.
And they were like, yeah, we'll give you a little bit of we'll upzone this area and specifically create affordable housing units there. And they were like, no.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
He canceled you 3 ways in 5 minutes. Yeah, for real, dude. Terrible.
I'm a fucking loose cannon, baby.
they result in urban environments that are at a human scale, safe, enjoyable, and comfortable to be in. And you don't need to spend all your time stuck in soul-crushing traffic to do normal everyday things like visiting friends or buying a bag of milk.
Amen.
Unfortunately, there are very few truly walkable neighborhoods left in the US and Canada, usually only neighborhoods built before the 1940s. So this new demand has resulted in skyrocketing housing prices for this limited stock. Not everyone is going to want to live in a mixed-use walkable neighborhood, but it's clear that a lot of people do. And given that these places
Only
are better
bitch-ass
for our health, our
motherfuckers don't
city
want to.
finances, and the
If you
environment,
ask me,
it would be
that shit
Yeah, is this
rocks.
how Baltimore is?
Huh?
Is this how Baltimore?
Baltimore is like, you can walk around, but you might get fucking jumped. Like that's the. I love Baltimore, but yeah, it's every city is kind of like it's difficult to walk around.
Baltimore. It'd be like that.
Be
I
more,
feel you.
baby. But I did my favorite. I used to. I'm actually getting a call from Baltimore. I don't know what it is.
Should I order from a Turkish place called Cafe Istanbul?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not Cafe
We
Constantinople.
do
That's
Cafe Istanbul this time. We get Cafe Constantinople next time.
what do you want? You want like they have a specialty kebab.
Ooh,
Beyti. It's like Adana kebab separately rolled in lavash bread, topped with our fresh made tomato-based sauce, hot melted butter, served with yogurt and
give
rice.
me the fucking special, baby.
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
really
good
good
as hell.
shit.
I was high as shit, and I went grocery store shopping. Even though I'm only in this Airbnb for like 4 days, I bought like $90 worth of lamb chops. I'm gonna grill later. I can't wait.
Oh
dude.
hell yeah!
Yeah.
What do you want on the side? Fatush salad, Greek salad, tabbouleh salad, choban salad.
Get these salads out of my fucking face.
No
Where's
salad.
the rice at, bro?
Well, it comes with rice.
Okay.
Yeah, you want a side of garlic sauce?
You know I want that. Oh, there you go. Oh, it comes with rice. Okay.
Yeah, it comes with rice. Yeah.
Although I am on my salad a day shit. My fucking the way I'm gonna not die on this tour, because I got fat. I lost a bunch of weight during the pandemic, and then I went on tour for 6 months. I got fat as shit, and I'm trying not to die by having one salad a day. and walking 10,000 miles and getting my fucking swole on.
10,000 miles or 10,000 steps a day?
10,000 miles.
I don't know how long it would take for you to do that.
I'm Forrest Gump out this bitch.
Yeah, you would get skinny that way. Dude, I got this shit. Look, this is what I got. Hold on. All right, we're gonna fucking stop this video for a second.
Tomorrow for sure.